Good evening. Welcome. Happy holidays. It is our last show before the big day, not the Super Bowl. Christmas. That's right. It is Christmas Eve. Welcome back to Debate 8. Man, tonight is going to be a very fun, exciting, and as I said on Twitter, a sweaty episode of Debate 8 because tonight, first of all, we're talking Mando. We're talking Mando season 2. It's over, and now we bask in it, in the glow, in the fun, and we are going to decide tonight which episode from season 2 you guys feel is the best. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight, our first guest since the relaunch of the show, since the redesign, since the new set, we got our first guest. That's right. If you follow her on Twitter, that's at Fanjecture, then you know already that our stellar guest tonight is Al, executive producer of the Den of Nerds and co-host of one of the fastest growing streams, shows, entertainment on YouTube right now, After Dark. If you're not watching After Dark, I don't know what you're doing on Thursday nights, but you need to be watching After Dark. Sometimes they go 2 hours, sometimes they go like 8 hours. It's incredible. It's the best. And of course, Al with his partner Lavis, doing After Dark is incredible, and more on Lavis later. At the end of the show, I might have an announcement that has to do with Lavis, so hang in there for that. But we have Al coming on tonight to talk Mando. If you are new here, what we do is we take a topic. Tonight is Mando 2. We put 8 things of that topic into a tournament bracket, and by the end of tonight, you will vote live and decide what is the best. So we're going to do that tonight. I know Al is in the green room. He's chilling. He's waiting. So what do you say? We try to figure out if I can get him on. Should be all set. All right, hold on. Let me call up Al. And since this is our first time doing a guest with the new set, just let me know, guys, in the chat. As long as if you can hear him, it should be okay. I tested everything out earlier today. Let's see. Al is here. What is up?
Yes, sir. What's good, man?
Chat, can you hear him?
What up? What up?
I can't. Oh, I know why I can't see you, because I have to change it. Oh, there's Al. There's the man. All right, let me pop this out. Let me full screen you. What's up, man? How is your?
Hey, man.
How you doing?
Oh man, you know, nerd vision across the state today. Well, not state, maybe like city, but yeah, been out there in them streets, man.
You're in the process of moving, huh?
Yeah, finally, man, got them keys today.
Yo, congratulations. All right, hold on.
Appreciate it, man.
I'm gonna get you. Do you want me to change your background, or do you want to stay green?
Yeah, man. No. If you can switch me up, man, switch me up.
Okay. All right. I gotta do this on the fly. All right. Hold on. I can do this. No. It's all good. I'm gonna chroma key that out. Look at that.
Cool.
Boom. And then let's add a background for Al.
Let's go.
All right. Let's do something fun. How about we do? All right. Let's do. Let's throw Al in the Mando set. I got a Mando set here. Oh, or
now we talking.
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, this is from season 1, but I think it'll work. I think it'll be all right.
Cool.
All right, give me 1 sec, guys. I know this. I'll get it fixed up next time. Don't you worry. All right, there we go. Discord. There's Al. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can get you here. You're a little tall. Let's hold on. I know. I'm like
cool.
There we go. There's my man. right. There's Al. All right, let's do this. Let's bring you in. There he is.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's Al.
What's good, y'all?
What's up, man? Yeah, I don't think, have we ever actually streamed together, like on the same stream?
The only one that we did was the Disney, I'm not Disney, the DC fandom. We
Oh,
were
right.
a little bit for that, man. A little bit for that.
Nice. Well, now, we did DC. Now we got to do some Disney stuff, which is great.
Yeah, man.
Al,
I'm down.
You and Josh from the Den of Nerds have been doing, well, it ended now, but you were doing a 3 a.m. East Coast Standard Time after show live watch of Mando season 2. What was that experience like for you? Just going with the community and watching these shows together.
That's what's up, man. It was crazy, man. Like, I'm a big Star Wars fan in case anybody ain't know that, right? And like the fact that we had a show that we could all geek out about, man, like that 3 a.m. wasn't nothing for me, man. I was like, let's do it now. Ask me about that on Friday mornings, and that's a whole different story. But man, it was dope, man, and I can't wait for us to get into it more with more shows as they drop, man. But it was a blast. I had a blast with the homie. Shout out to Josh, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I could not stay up for that. I watched your stuff on. I watched it on the replay the next day. That was the first thing I did. I woke up. I watched the episode, and then the first thing I did was turn on you and Josh's streams just to get your reaction. And so far, well, I mean, it's over now, but like, you loved this season. You were very big on a lot of the episodes.
Yeah, this season to me was exactly what I was kind of hoping for out of Mando, man. It was like, you take season 1, you tweak a little bit there, you keep the same dopeness, and you just blow the scale out of the water. And that's exactly what they did, man. It was like, this is what I was expecting from season 2. And then the best part about it was we got some stuff I didn't even expect. So it was just like, by the end of it, I was just like, here, take all my money.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Look, let me get that lifetime Disney Plus subscription, man. I'm in here. Let's go.
Yeah. Biggest show on the planet for sure. And tonight we're going to be talking season 2, and we're going to figure out, I mean, you're going to talk about your favorite episodes, but at the end of the night, the people are going to vote and decide what they feel like is their favorite episodes.
No doubt. I can't wait to see what people think, man, because I know I definitely got my faves. So it's going to be real interesting to see how it plays out.
I agree. Let's jump over to the bracket and hold on, let me we'll look. Let me fix you real quick. We got a little.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's fine. I'll leave it for now. So here's our bracket, and Al, there's going to be some tough matchups when we get to them. The first one, the number 1 overall seed, Chapter 16, The Rescue, is going to go up against the number 8 seed of Chapter 10, The Passenger.
I see you. Okay.
Number 4 seed, Chapter 11, The Heiress, goes up against the number 5 seed, which is Chapter 15, The Believer. That's a tough one. That is going to be, I think, I don't know how you feel about that one, but that's going to be a tough one for me.
That's a tough one, man. Like, dang, you trying to bring me on here and cook me tonight. I'm like, whoa, I'm looking.
Third matchup of the first round, the number 3 seed, Chapter 9, The Marshal, goes up against the 6 seed, Chapter 14, The Tragedy. Another, in my opinion, another very tough matchup.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
And then rounding out that first round, the number 2 seed, Chapter 13, The Jedi, goes up against the number 7 seed, Chapter 12 of The Siege. Let's do it, man. Let's just jump.
Let's get into
it. Let's jump into it. Talk about it. All right. We got the Rescue versus The Passenger. Al, I'll give the floor to you. Look, I don't think this is necessarily going to be close. So this might be a quick first round matchup, but I'll let you go ahead and give your opinion on which one you think should move on.
I love being the contrarian. So as much as I want to try to give The Passenger some love and try, man, come on, man, like, come on. And this is like, this is almost a layup for everybody, because this episode is still fresh in everybody's mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about the rest of everybody watching, but I'm still riding that wave, man. Like, I'm so still riding that high from what we got in the rescue. It's insane. But there was, the passenger had some dope stuff, man. We got Frog Lady in that episode. It was a little controversial with Grogu and the eggs and whatnot, man. I thought the stuff that they did with the ship and them kind of rigging it up, the Mon Calamari rigging it up with all the nets was funny, man. But look, there's two words you got to say, and you dead this conversation, and that's Luke Skywalker, bro. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
The rescue, man. Come on, like, that was probably, not even probably in my opinion, that was probably that was definitely the best 15 minutes of Star Wars I've seen in the last 15 years. Like, period, point blank for me, man. Like, that was it wasn't so much, and it wasn't even the shock value of it. It was the fact that they nailed it so well. Like, you kind of had that feeling, and there was a point in that episode where you kind of knew where it was going. Like, once you got over the initial shock, you're like, okay, they doing this, so let's see what they got. And I've watched that like at least a dozen times. I have no complaints. There is no complaint. Like, people talk about the CGI. I'm not even tripping off the CGI, because we knew if you're going to go that route with it, then there's going to be a little bit of like iffiness to it, because it's still a new tech, and you're talking about something that's being done for the second season of a streaming show. So I didn't even trip about the CGI as much, man. It was like, just the fact that we got Luke, like, just, hey, man, you put in a valiant effort, passenger, but it ain't going down, man. It ain't going down.
Yeah, no, I echo almost everything you say. Look, Frog Lady was cool. I like Frog Lady. She was fun. I loved the fact that she like reprogrammed the droid.
Yes.
That was a nice little twist on it. You're totally right about the controversy with eating the eggs, man. It was
crazy to me.
I wouldn't say that it was like a major controversy, but like some people really did get upset about that. And
it was some people mad triggered over that, and I was just like, yeah. It's 2020, man. Like, what are people not triggered over this year? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
everything, man. So it's just like I wasn't shocked, but I was just like, can we please not? Can we not?
Yeah. So I don't think this is gonna go too well for Frog Lady for sure.
Nah, man, ain't.
All right,
no upsets in this one.
No, definitely not. Let's do a poll right now. I'm gonna vote. Well, I don't know. Al's definitely should vote. The people have been telling me not to vote, but I might vote on this one. I love the Mando so much. If this is your first time, we vote here live in the chat. I'm gonna start the poll right now. If you want to vote for the rescue, in the chat, do !vote 1. There is a space in between the word vote and the number you want to do. If you want to vote for the passenger, that will be !vote 8. I will be shocked, Al, if the passenger gets a single vote. Honestly.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
I don't, because here's the thing. And I don't want to talk about the rescue too much right now, because I don't want to like give everything away, because we're going to have a lot of, I predict we're going to be talking about the rescue quite a while for tonight.
Quite a bit.
And there goes Stormy coming in here with the contrarian vote. Of course.
What's up, Stormy?
Yeah, I mean, the passenger, I guess, was, I'm going to just talk a little positive about the passenger, just because I think it's about a one and done here. I liked the horror aspect of it. I don't think that the stakes, like, I never felt like the stakes were super high for it.
Right.
It was too early in the season to like really get you going as like, oh, will they make it? Won't they? If it was later in the season, then maybe we maybe would have thought Frog Lady would get the axe and maybe die by the hand of a spider. But in this scenario, with it being so early in the season, not so much stakes for me. So that's a real knock on the episode for me.
No, I definitely agree with you on that. It was, that episode, and I think what did it for me, or what kind of I guess turned me off from that episode was you come off of the first episode of the season, and they hit you with so much in that episode that when you get to the passenger, you're like, it's almost like you come to a screeching halt for a minute. And it picks up and the story kind of goes and you start to see kind of where it's going, but it was just like such a jarring difference from what you get the previous episode that it's really hard to appreciate that episode without watching it like maybe 2 or 3 times. Like, it was cool, but you got to go back and kind of rewatch that one to really get all of the juiciness out of it. And we already know, like, you couldn't even get through some people couldn't even get out through all of the rescue, man.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't even make it through that.
No, but it doesn't matter. The rescue, 100% of the vote, moving on to the next round. All right, this next one. Now, just so people are aware, I don't pick the seedings. The people in Discord, they make the seedings, they do the voting. So you don't come complaining to me, because we're about to get into like a really, really tough one. We got the number 4 seed, the Heiress, going up against the number 5 seed of the Believer. All right, this is tough, and I'm very interested to see which way you go on this one. So which one do you think should move on between these 2 episodes?
Oh man, I have to go. It's so tough. It's so tough because we talking Bo-Katan, right? And if you're a Rebels fan, if you're a Clone Wars fan, you came in and you were like hyped and ready to see what Bo-Katan looked like. She didn't disappoint. I think they nailed it. She was dope as hell. But then you have the episode of The Believer and like Mayfeld, and just like that whole thing was like I wasn't expecting that. Like, that episode kind of caught me off guard because I really wasn't expecting that, especially with us leading up to the season finale. Like, they definitely got me. But I have to go, man. Look, I gotta go with the Heiress. You can't go against Bo, man. Like, that whole setup and that introduction for her was incredible. They nailed that. And I love the action. I love the way that you got to see like how these other Mandalorians get down, then kind of having this world kind of shake it up a little bit, realizing that, his understanding of what the Mandalorian creed is might not be just the only one, man. So it was like, I got to go with the Heiress on this one, man.
See, I think I gotta disagree. I like Bo-Katan. I thought it was a great episode. What a fun, live action version of the character that we really fell in love with and really like from the Clone Wars. But to me, The Believer was such an in-depth character episode that I know, and I remember when at least your initial reaction, because I remember watching. You weren't necessarily high on it, at least at first, when you first saw it.
No, not at first. Yeah, and it was another one of those that I went back, and after watching again, I really had a really deeper appreciation for, because Mayfeld's transition and the way Bill Burr portrayed that on screen, and how you actually see him come to a difference of opinion and viewpoint on what was going on with like the Imperial War and all of that. It's like you see that change, and then on top of that, you sprinkle in the fact that you get Din Djarin for the sake of Grogu taking the helmet off, and how impactful and powerful that was just in a moment. And you probably get, in my opinion, one of the most credible pieces of evidence towards Din possibly being Force sensitive in this episode. So it's like, it's a lot in this episode that you get and you start to notice upon second watch. But again, kind of like the same thing that we talked about with the rescue, with the Bo-Katan episode, I didn't need to watch. I watched it multiple times, but I didn't need to watch it multiple times to feel that one.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, Bo came in and wrecked it, and I can't be mad. Like, the only reason I gave that episode a half a point off was because I wasn't feeling her wig upon first watch. But after that, I got over the wig drama, I was like, yeah, this what's up.
Yeah,
this what's up.
It's so funny. I'm like, so the opposites on both of those points. Like, when the first time I watched The Believer, like, I got it, man. It hit all the right notes for me. I not only the Bill Burr stuff of him like becoming basically a new person, like a refresh, like he was a new believer in a new creed and a new cause. But
Yep.
I thought it was such a great character building for Din Djarin and his setup, and it really got and I hate to say this this term, but like normies, not Star Wars normies, but maybe just like television watcher normies in general, because it really hit home all of the things that the Mando might have to give up in his life to save Grogu. And this was like that episode where it was like, okay, like it's hammered home into his brain, like you're going to have to change your life if you want to save this kid. So it was such great character. And as far as this one goes, the wig, honestly, the wig didn't bother me like for at all, like a split second. And then I was so funny, like watching everyone's reaction about the wig. I was like, I can't believe people didn't like the wig. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
It was, I was being super picky when I saw that episode and I saw that wig, because I was like, oh, bro, they could have spent a couple more bucks and got her like the deluxe number 5. They ain't had to get her like the generic Hawaiian silky and have her out there looking like that. But
I'm surprised it was a wig. Man, I'm surprised it was a wig at all. I thought, like dye her hair, cut it. You know,
exactly, because she has the hair for it.
Yeah,
and you could have made that work. But I mean, I get it. They wanted to kind of give her the look similar to what she was in Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah.
So I like, after going back and watching, and that's what I literally had to do, was I went back and watched a couple of episodes of Clone Wars and Rebels where she was in it and was like, okay, so I see what they were going for with the wig now. Like they were trying to duplicate what people were used to. It makes sense. I get it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too mad at it after that.
All right, let's see what the people have to say. Let's start this poll up. If you want to vote for the heiress, exclamation vote 4. If you want to vote for the believer, exclamation vote 5. Lavis and I are split on this one. He's going heiress. I would go believer, but it's really up to you guys. And heiress, man, off to a quick start, 100% right now. But and just like that, as I say it, believer making a comeback at the end here. Don't forget, if you want to vote, exclamation vote 4 right in the chat. There is a space between the word vote and the number. You know you did it right because Streamlabs will tell you if you voted. If you don't see Streamlabs telling you back that you voted, then you did something wrong. Do it again. Al, I think the heiress is going to pull off a slight victory here. We still got some.
This is honestly a shock to me, man. I couldn't believe it was as close as it was.
Yeah, look, typically in these first rounds, the 4-5 is usually like the tightest matchup we have and the hardest one to vote for. It's usually how it goes. So so everyone's jumping in. We got Jason Polyhedral Paradise saying this is BS, man.
Hey, man, don't know what to tell you, Polyhedral, but look, can't sleep on Bo, man. Can't sleep on Bo.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were going to get the slight upset here, but we got time is running out on the clock, and it looks like the heiress is going to pull out the victory. I'm not super shocked, to be honest. I really wanted the believer to win, but I honestly, I could tell from when that first came out. I think a lot of people had your same reaction at first. Wasn't so sure about it, and hopefully it grows on people, down the road.
Oh yeah, it most definitely did for me. Like that's now one of my favorite episodes of season 2, but I had to go back and really appreciate a lot of what we got in that episode though.
All right, so the heiress is moving on to the next round. All right, we got a really good one coming up here as well. Ooh, this one's going to be a tough one too. We got the number 3 seed, the Marshal, going up against the number 6 seed of the Tragedy. I got to be honest on this one. I couldn't believe that the people voted the Tragedy so low in my opinion. But
oh man,
this is a tough one.
That's
I know
crazy.
A lot of people are high on the Marshal. Are you as high on the Marshal as everybody else?
Incorrect, my man. I'm going all the way Tragedy on this one. Tragedy was one of my favorite, again, another one of my favorites, and because of the fact that the homie Lava's like straight called this because I was on some stuff. Like I thought what we would get with this episode was kind of a drawn out path to Tython. Like I thought it was going to be the whole regulators mount up first, that they were going to have like a run in with Moff Gideon kind of early on in the episode, and then that was going to lead to Din being like, okay, I got to rally the troops and get Ahsoka back on board. I got to go find Bo, and we got to try to make this like voyage to Tython and make sure that we're not impeded. But then we get the episode and my man lands on Tython at the very beginning of the episode. Like we waste no time getting there. And I was just like, man. And again, and this is one of the beautiful things for me for this season, was even the things we expected, when they happened, we didn't expect it. Because we got Boba in the tragedy. Like that was when we finally get to see Boba do his thing. And in that moment where you've got Grogu kind of on the seat and he's doing the Force beacon and everything's going down, you got the conflict going down and the stormtroopers show up. The last person I'm expecting to see prior to that is Boba. And when you see Slave One come in, you like just, oh snap, so they doing this now? And it was like, Boba didn't disappoint, man. It's like I said, I remember watching that and I was like, Boba had those stormtroopers on that Floyd Mayweather challenge, man. Like he had them straight laid out. Yeah. I was just like, this ain't even fair, man. The man had, look, if you need any other argument for this one over the other episode, man, kneecap rockets, man.
Ooh,
kneecap
where'd
rockets.
that come from?
Like, come on, man, that kneecap rockets. Like, you stop right there. Now, I want to say this though, real quick. Okay. Cobb Vanth was dope. Yeah. Like that episode and the way that they rolled that first season out and getting Cobb Vanth, seeing Boba Fett's armor, the whole thing with the drag, like that whole thing, the action, the amount of scale that they were able to put into that episode was incredible. And it set the stage for the entire season. But I almost feel like this battle ain't fair, man, because we got Boba, and you got some Boba stands out there that's feeling that.
Yeah. I was shocked when the Marshal was voted so high. By the way, I'll throw it in the chat right now. If you do !Discord, you can join the Discord. We vote every week for the seating. So if you are confused by the rankings, it's the people who vote. Yeah, man. So Timothy Oliphant was great. Yeah. Nailed it. I actually really do like the Marshal a lot. I wish it wasn't this first matchup, because I personally would vote it further along if it wasn't up against the tragedy. Timothy Oliphant nails it. You're really not sure at the beginning of this episode whether or not they're gonna just basically have it all out, and then they form a friendship. They get a bond, and you know what, like, part of me the whole episode was like, is he gonna turn? Is he gonna like backstab him? And that never happened. And I'm actually kind of glad that didn't happen. Like it's nice that 100%. Din Djarin like has a friend every now and then, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I thought it was a cool look because it actually puts it to me, had he turned, then you still kind of have this smaller space, if you will, for in terms of Mando and his conflict.
Sure.
By not doing that with Cobb Vanth, you kind of expand the universe a little bit, because you give another example of, here's somebody that's like doing good, but he's not light side, he's not force sensitive, he's not connected to some other kind of, this is just the everyman, if you will, that found some armor and decided he was going to do something for these people. And that's the thing that I think really gives Star Wars the depth that it has, is when you have these kind of characters to help kind of move the story along and the plot along for people like Din Djarin. So no, I definitely want to see more of Cobb Vanth. Like I want this dude to come back. Yeah. So no, I loved Oliphant in this one, but again, man, Boba, not just Boba, but then at the end of the episode, you get Grogu throwing stormtroopers around and looking like he's having fun doing it, man. I still got questions about that, man. Like, what was up with this dude like straight going dark side
Yeah.
on these stormtroopers, man? It was crazy.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it, man. I don't
Yeah.
want like I'm worried. Like I want to gush about this episode so much, but I don't want to give everything away to hurt it in later rounds. But based on the chat, I think the tragedy is going to give us an upset tonight, which I'm totally fine for. Let's do a poll. Let's see what the people have to say on this one. If you want to vote for the Marshal to move on to the second round, exclamation vote 3 in the chat. If you want to vote for the tragedy, exclamation vote 6. Man, we got the battle of the Bobas, right? We got the real Boba, we got the fake Boba.
Yeah.
We'll see which one comes out on top. I think this is going to be the tragedy. Off to a great start right now. 83% of the vote already locked in for that. Look, Marshall, I think is going to get some votes, and no shame on that. Like I said, I would totally vote for the Marshall if it wasn't up against tragedy, hands down. But I think it's going to be, it's going to be. Look at this, 84% of the vote. this is going to be tough,
man. Getting it.
Yeah, no, I don't think this one is. It's gonna be an early night for Cobb Vanth, but I agree with you, man. You made a great point that the fact that he's just an everyman that's doing good in the universe really fleshes out. Like I know a lot of people are always like Star Wars is too small. Star Wars is too small. Right. They need to expand the universe. And this is a great way to do it by introducing a character that's not evil, so he can go off and have his own adventures, and you can always follow him along on his adventures as well. It's a great point you made.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I want as Star Wars continues to grow and expand and they start putting more and more content on Disney Plus. I wouldn't be opposed to a Cobb Vanth show. Once you get past kind of hitting these iconic tentpole characters and doing the obvious stuff, when you want to start getting to some of these like they're doing the Ranger show with Cara Dune, I feel like Cobb Vanth could be either slotted right in along with that, or have his own show in a similar format where you just watch him as the sheriff, handling stuff in the town, man. Like just and it doesn't even have to be anything that has any implications to Mandalorians, to Jedi, to Sith, any of that. Just show me this dude dealing with Tusken Raiders or something, like having to deal with that, or like town conflicts and stuff like that. Like there's so much potential for something like that, man.
Oliphant is so magnetic on screen, and when he's there, you're focused on him so much. And like I agree, man. Like just even if it's like a villain of the week, I would watch that. I would watch a Timothy Oliphant villain of the week show of Cobb Vanth, just like protecting people. I don't know. I would definitely be into that for
Holding
sure.
it down.
All right, the number 6 seed, the tragedy, moves on to the second round, and that leaves us with the last matchup of the first round. We got the number 2 seed of the Siege going up against the number 7 seed of, number 2 seed, the Jedi, and the number 7 seed of the Siege. I don't think this. Oh, whoa, where are we going? Hey, what is happening? Oh my God! All right, I don't think this one is going to be too crazy of a thought process here. So, what do you think about this one? Is there any possible way the Siege can overtake the Jedi on this one?
Not happening, man. not even. I want to give you some pretty explanation on how it will work, but ain't no way in hell.
Yeah, not like this time.
No, man, no. We talking Ahsoka Tano, man. We talking Ahsoka. Like there were people who probably tuned in simply because they heard Ahsoka might be on the show. Probably hadn't watched a lick of Mandalorian, but wanted to see Ahsoka, and that's the kind of draw she brings. And for Rosario Dawson to nail it the way that she nailed it, like we don't even have to talk about, because I don't even want to get it. I want to save it for later. Yeah. But just Ahsoka on her own was enough to put that episode over the top in this one.
Yeah,
just by herself.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we need to necessarily talk too much about this one because we'll definitely want to save some talk of Ahsoka and everything for the next shot. I actually like the Siege. I don't know that I would have had it at 7, although it's tough, man, because there's a lot of good episodes this season.
There's so many good ones. Yeah.
But I like the Siege. It wasn't the best. You can definitely tell that Carl Weathers, this was his first like real like meaty director's role. But I gotta say, I thought he did really good. Some of the action sequences, I thought he directed the hell out of some of these action sequences for sure. I liked it, man. Not my best, but not the best, but all props to Carl Weathers, because I thought he did a stand-up job directing this episode.
Oh yeah, most def, man. You could definitely feel some of like that 80s action vibe in some of those scenes, man. And it was just like Action Jackson back at it again, man. I was like, this dude, you could tell like he was in his element in that stuff, man. He was definitely in his element with that episode. So no, it was dope. Just it ain't touching the sofa, man.
Probably not on this one. All right, let's get this over with. Let's put the Siege out of its misery. I think if you want to vote for the Jedi, !vote 2 in the chat. If you want the Siege, I'd be very curious to see how, if at any, if it's going to get any votes. But if you want that, !vote 7. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I know. I'm trying to think of like good things to say about the Siege as it's like on its way out. I did like the fact that, well, you know what I will say about it? I'm a little surprised that this was really our only Grief Karga of the season. Like,
that was surprising.
Like
that was very surprising.
He was a great character last season.
Yes.
So I'm actually really surprised that like they didn't utilize him more. I mean, it's looking back on it, I guess he didn't really have a place, but I am a little bit surprised.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I think what kind of spelled, like, if you want to say doom for his character in terms of seeing him, was the kind of the transition from him being that shady character to kind of being totally Team Mando.
Yeah.
Because he's totally a flip-flopping type dude, in my opinion. Like, that's a cat that if you see him later on, like, he's more suited, or that character's more suited for kind of toeing the line and you not really knowing who his allegiance is to. Because I think that's what really made him and his character pop in season 1, was that you kind of knew this dude was in it for himself, but it was also kind of, he was kind of trying to help Mando, but ultimately it was all about grief and him kind of making sure he was all right. So when you take that element away from that character, it kind of flattens him out a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, I still wouldn't mind seeing more of him, because I'm just a Carl Weathers fan like that, period, man. Like, give me Apollo all day.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I don't know if we're actually ever gonna see him again. Actually, you know when I think we might see him? I wouldn't be surprised if he is a well, actually no, because they're not on the Boba show, the Book of Boba. It'd be really cool to kind of throw him in there somehow. I don't know how. It's above my pay grade, but that'd be cool to see him like involved in the Boba show, I think.
No, 100%. I'd love to see him come back and have an appearance in the Boba show. and there's definitely ways you could do it. I mean, you could have Boba run in, or have a run in back on Navarro. And you have, Grief like, no, we trying to keep it clean here, bro, or something like that, and have them have like a little mini conflict. But as long as we get more Grief, I'd be all right.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell on that one. All right, we have made it to the second round. We got some real heavy hitters here. It's gonna be hard from this point out. So let's just jump into it right now. We got the number 1 overall seed, Chapter 16, The Rescue, going up against the number 4 seed, Chapter 11, The Heiress. And this is gonna be a tough one, Al. I'm glad you're going first. So let me know, which one of these two do you think should move on?
Well, I will say this: the Bo-Katan episode, like I said, one of my favorite things about that episode was the choreography with the fighting, and you actually seeing the coordination of like Team Mando kind of wrecking shop and doing what they do. I was a huge fan of the Frog Lady, like and her kind of role, even though it was kind of secondary in this episode. what I really loved was like the scenes with her, her husband and Grogu, kind of, you know, watching him, the birthing of the little tadpoles, whatever you want to call them, and him kind of understanding life at that point and kind of like starting to put two and two together. I thought that was really cool the way they put that in there. Like I said, the choreography with the fighting was dope. But even if you take Luke out of the picture, the choreography in the rescue was amazing. Like that Moff Gideon Din Djarin, or Din Djarin versus that Dark Trooper, man, like it was some of the best Star Wars in that I've seen, just from an action standpoint. And then when you do get to the Luke stuff, the choreography, bruh, like Luke was so flawless with it. Like this dude was dripping swag, and I'm like, hey, I don't care. Like, just give me this dude. I don't care about the CGI.
Yeah.
Leave the hood on him for all I care. Let me just get more of that, please. So I gotta go with Luke, man. The rescue's gotta be it.
Yeah, I'll say this. I have some issues with the rescue, which I might save that to the next round. But I will say this. The Luke stuff at the end, when that X-Wing first came, I don't know about you, and I'm pretty sure this may or may not have been your reaction. I said to myself, that's Luke. But like my brain or my brain was like, it's Luke, because I was like, there's only one person, but my heart was like, is that really Luke? Are they really like gonna bring that to us right now? Is that really happening? And I still didn't even like believe my heart, even though my brain was telling me like, this is happening, this is about to happen, you're about to see Luke again. And then when he came out, and then the green popped, and then you saw the glove, and you're just like, okay,
you knew it.
This is it. And it was good, man. Like for whatever else I feel about the episode, which I really, I don't know. I'll say a little bit right now. A little preview for maybe next round for me. The first half of the episode was to me not that great. I feel like the last 20 minutes with Luke and leading up to that really nailed it for me as far as this being a great episode. But leading up to that, it didn't really like feel like a season finale to me. It didn't like I wasn't feeling that there was enough stakes going on. Like I always felt like at some point, like, okay, they're all just gonna like get out of this. Like the Dark Troopers, I still felt that it didn't matter. Like the Dark Troopers were not going to take over. But at the end, when Luke showed up, man, I gotta be honest. I'm not the biggest Luke guy. Like as far as the pantheon of Star Wars characters, for me, Luke has never really been that high. This made me a Luke fan. Like this reignited, no pun intended, reignited my love for Luke. It really did. So they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it.
Oh yeah, most def, man. It's one of those things, and I talked about it on Afternoon with Lavas. When we saw that episode, because we actually watched it together, and when the X-Wing popped up, I can remember my hands just going like this and leaning over, and like I went from 38-year-old grown-ass man to 10-year-old boy in like 0.5 seconds. Yeah. And I was just like, no, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do this. This is not really happening. And for me, it didn't sink in until you get this. There's one specific scene where Luke hits this corner, and he's got the lightsaber out, and you see the hilt and the glove. And until that moment, I still didn't want to believe it. I did not want to believe it. And when you got that, I just literally felt like my heart leave my chest. And I was like, they actually finna do this right now. And it was perfect. It was perfect in every single way. When you have grown men collectively sobbing like babies and going to social media to talk about how we were all bawling like babies.
Yeah.
You know you did something right. You know you did something right.
All right, let's see what the people have to say on this. Let's start the poll. If you want to vote for the rescue, do exclamation vote 1 in the chat. If you want to vote for the heiress, do exclamation vote 4. Yeah, I mean, to me, the heiress was like, it was great. It was fun. I like the action. I love the characters. I would like to see more of that. And I hope we do see more of that in some of these, new shows that we're getting, or, obviously not the Book of Boba, but season 3. I hope we get a lot more of the Mando culture and everything. And I mean, just the seeing Mando's fight is great on television. It's just,
Yes.
This is not gonna go the way they think it's gonna go.
No. Unfortunately, just it's rough, man. It's rough because I love the heiress. I love that episode, but even with the first half of the rescue being, and I agree with you 100%, for a season finale, it took too long for that episode to build.
Yeah,
it took too long to get, especially when you look at an episode like the tragedy and how we within the first 5 minutes of that episode got to business, and it was like, we ain't playing games. We on Tython. It's happening right now.
Right.
Like, then you get to the season finale, and I understand what they were doing in terms of kind of trying to kind of play it out the long way and build up to that Luke moment. But it just, that's one, like you said, I agree with you on that. But the heiress, man, Luke still trumps that.
Yes.
Yeah. Luke's like the Star Wars draw 4 card, bro. Like you put that, you put Luke out there, all you got to do is sit there and look with the stank face. Like, really? Like, if you just like looking for a reason to hate, Luke gave you one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, the rescue. Moving on to the finals. All right, now we got. This one is gonna be a tough one for me. We got the number 6 seed, the tragedy, going up against the number 2 seed of the Jedi. Wow. Okay. Can we call? I guess we can't call Ahsoka a legacy character, but like a neo legacy character. She's been around long enough that like she. If you're a real hardcore Star Wars fan, you know Ahsoka Tano, and you got the introduction, the like reintroduction, the badass of Boba Fett, along with a bunch of other stuff in that episode we'll get to. How do you feel about this one? This one is not as easy as the last round.
It's probably gonna sound kind of crazy, but for me it is, and it's not because of the episode itself, because they were both great episodes. But with this particular matchup, I have to take a step back and I have to look at the highlight. You had in the tragedy, the highlight was finally getting to see Boba in action, as opposed to the Jedi, of course, being Ahsoka. And I look at which one of those payoffs were the most worth it. And for me, I gotta go with Ahsoka. And the reason I go with Ahsoka is because as much lore and as much history as Boba Fett has, and attachment that he has with the fandom, most of the history that we've gotten with Boba Fett to date has been wiped out because it was Legends. So we're waiting to see now what Boba's going to look like adapted into this era of Star Wars. Whereas with Ahsoka, all of those moments, every touching moment, every moment that made you an Ahsoka fan, all of that is still canon. So bringing that to the silver screen or to live action, like there was a lot more at stake there because of the fact that there was very little room for error with Ahsoka. With Boba, you're kind of trying to figure out, okay, how do we bring this character into the current canon and do it in a way that's going to satisfy Legends fans? Whereas with Ahsoka, it's like, how do we bring her in and not piss people off and turn them against Mandalorian? So for me, based on that, I got to go with Ahsoka. I got to go with the Jedi.
See, I hear you, because they really could have screwed up Ahsoka. And I know it was in Dave Filoni's hands, but the truth is,
but still,
this is only the 3rd episode that he's directed for this show. And I will say this, leaps and bounds above what he did in season 1. His skill set of a director was tenfold in this episode. It's so good. The introduction, the action, the tense, you really saw like a lot of Kurosawa-esque shots and visuals. Like, it was so good. You really can tell where his influences are. And I thought we also got Grogu for the first time. Like, his name was in this episode. So we have that. No complaints. I thought Ahsoka was amazing. For me though, I still lean towards the tragedy, and I guess this is like full Robert Rodriguez for me. I thought like his direction of this episode had me literally stuck to the screen the entire time. Like you said last round, I mean, they just got right into it. Like, there was no waiting around. It was almost like action packed from start to finish. That whole like sitting on the rock with the Jedi waves coming down in this meditation state, that was amazing. And the special effects that they had on that, I mean, this episode alone, you could not tell that it really was television. I mean, to me, I know it was still small scale.
You're spot on with that. You are spot on with that. There were a couple of episodes in this season where you looked at it and you couldn't tell if you were watching a movie or a streaming service show. And this was one of those episodes, like, as particularly when the stormtroopers showed up. Once that action set piece was something out of a movie. Like the way that choreography was structured, the way that those scenes were shot, the camera angles that you got, that was all movie level stuff. And so, no, I'm right there with you with that. I think where, again, for me, where it differs, or where I have to kind of tilt it back to the favor of the Jedi, is because, again, there was so much writing on that episode. Like, that episode could have fallen so flat and turned people off in so many different ways that you could have potentially derailed the show because of a bad Ahsoka debut.
Right.
Like, it could have gone so bad, and it wasn't even that you got out of the Ahsoka show and was like, oh, they pulled it off. No, like, Filoni nailed it. He nailed it. And so from that respect alone, like I said, for me, and it's very close, because like you said, the stuff we got in the tragedy, the way that episode played out, the Boba Fett reveal, the action, the way, getting Boba's backstory, understanding how he connects to the lore. I hate to do it to Boba and to that episode, man, but the Jedi's got to take it.
Yeah, I don't know. I see, because I've never really been a big Boba fan, and again, like, that's the great thing about this show, is that it's like reigniting fandoms of characters that may or may not have been like your favorites.
Creating them.
It really is. A lot of the action in that episode, though, reminded me of Braveheart, especially like that real close up, like visceral, like when he smashes that dude's head, and the stormtrooper helmet just like exploded. I was just like, holy,
exactly. That action for me took me aback, and not in a bad way, but it was like, okay, Disney, like, you're not like, there's no blood, but like that, to me, without blood, was still something that I didn't expect to see from a Disney show. Like, we still, it's Star Wars, it's space wizards, it's laser swords, it's aerial dogfights in space, but you don't see that kind of action in a Star Wars movie. Like, that dude was out there like bludgeoning dudes to death with one shot. Like, it was just ridiculous, and it played so well. So like I said, it really sucks that this episode got put up against the Jedi, but man, I gotta save a little bit in case the Jedi makes it. But
this one's tough, man. This is I can't wait to see what the people have to say. Let's start the voting. Let's see what everyone is gonna do for this one. All right, do you want to vote for the tragedy? Exclamation vote 6. Do you want to vote for the Jedi? Exclamation vote 2. Al is saying that, the introduction of Ahsoka was the key here. I'm saying that, between the Boba and the Force stuff and the action, tragedy is the way to go. What do you guys think? You guys are voting. It is in your hands. Al, the people are with you. off to an incredible jump here. 70, almost 79%.
I didn't think the gap would be that wide, man.
No,
'cause the tragedy was live, man.
It is climbing too. The people are speaking right here. Ahsoka Tano and the Jedi. I think the moral of the story here is you have a lightsaber in the episode. You're bound to be a winner.
Places, man, you're going places. That's it.
I mean, I will admit, lightsabers are pretty much like the coolest thing in the world. So
yeah,
I kind of wish they were real.
I'm telling you, I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you.
Would you buy one?
Oh, if they were real?
Yeah.
You're damn right. I'd buy two. I'd have to have somebody to do it with.
Well, yeah. Okay, but if they're real, do you really? Oh,
man.
Do you want to take that chance?
I'm crazy like that. Like, look, I'm such a fan. Like, my limb is worth it. Like, I'll try it. Like, I'm dead serious. I'm like, look, we can get out here. Look, slice me up, or either find me some Beskar. Like, what? We gotta figure something out. Like,
yeah, we'll just roam around the galaxy and
we'll just roam. Hey, look, if lightsabers are gonna be a thing, why can't Beskar?
You know what? It's a valid point. It's a very valid point. Jedi moving on, 79% of the vote, crushing it. All right. I think we kind of expected this when we started.
I would say so.
This is going to be an incredibly tough matchup for people to kind of get through. We got the number 1 overall seed, The Rescue, going up against the number 2 overall seed of the Jedi. Oh man, okay.
Yeah, man. Oh.
This is it. This is for the win.
This is the one I was waiting for, man.
What do you got here? This is the one
I was waiting for. Chat, I need you to bear with me and I need you to listen to me very carefully. Luke Skywalker is Star Wars, okay? Luke is so magnetic that the moment you see his ship, you shed tears. That's heavy. That is very heavy. But are we voting with our hearts? Or are we voting with what was better? Because here's the thing you got to think about. We got Luke for all of maybe 10 minutes. The rest of that episode, or the first half of that episode at least, was meh. You got to be real about it. For a season finale, for you to get all 25, 30 minutes into the episode before it really starts cooking, like, I personally felt like the whole thing with the scientists at the beginning and that whole setup, give me that off screen. Like, give me that in some exposition in a couple of minutes. I don't need to see all of that because I need you to put me into the action right away. The Ahsoka episode was one of the most beautifully directed and wonderfully written things I've seen in Star Wars, because it was Star Wars in a way that I never expected to see Star Wars. When you see the samurai elements, and not only the samurai elements, but the juxtaposition of Western filmmaking and Eastern filmmaking, when you have the clash between Din Djarin and my guy outside, I can't remember his name, Michael Baine's character, and then you have Ahsoka on the inside, like, that's like classic Westerns versus Eastern, like highlighting the brilliance of both of those genres. That episode from start to finish was gold. And when you have so much riding on an episode, the Ahsoka episode was all the chips being pushed to the middle of the table. The moment you take Ahsoka and say, I'm going to do live action Ahsoka, you basically slid all the chips to the middle of the table and you bet in the house. Luke, you know you can't, like, whether it was Sebastian Stan, whether it was CGI Luke, you already know the response you're going to get from Luke. My beef with the final episode was, if you're going to give me Luke, I need more. I didn't get enough Luke. And because I didn't get enough Luke, and because the better episode, not the one that made me the most emotional, but the one that was better, it was written better, there was better direction in my opinion, and because of what it had writing on it, You got to go with the Jedi. You got to go with the Jedi.
Ow.
I have spoken.
I didn't think that I was going to agree with you on this one. I gotta be honest.
Hey,
I
man.
thought that all the words that you were saying, I thought I was gonna have to be the bearer of bad news on this one, and you you nailed it. It's really gonna come down to is the third act of the rescue enough to overtake the pretty much the whole episode of the Jedi.
Right.
And I gotta be honest, I think maybe it is.
Yeah, it definitely is close. This is the closest, the hardest, and I went back and forth on this because I already assumed this is where we would be.
Yeah.
So I had to think about this all day, and I had to go back and I had to look at both episodes really, and go back and look at the moments because I had to convince my heart that I was right. Because my mind automatically said the Jedi was it. But thinking about the rescue and what Luke did in that moment, for me, like, it was hard.
Yeah.
But that Ahsoka episode, just the intro and her movement and the way that Dave Filoni directed her, the way that they structured her combat, the way that they were able to encapsulate what Ahsoka is in terms of her energy and her presence. Like, Rosario Dawson nailed that. There are certain scenes in that episode where when you look at the facial expressions that she gives, you could literally freeze that frame and go find that same exact expression in an episode of Clone Wars. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane detail.
Yeah.
And you get that for 40 minutes. For 40 minutes, not 10, not 12. You get that for the whole episode. There are moments, I would go as far as to say that Ahsoka's interactions with Grogu and learning his name and that whole scene was probably just as emotional for me as seeing Luke.
Yeah.
Like, it was the same because you were getting this thing that you didn't really, and that's the thing. For me, I guess I'll sum it up by saying this. The Ahsoka episode was the thing that I never realized I wanted that bad out of Star Wars. Because it threw me. It was like, this is like, Dave Filoni is on some other ish right now. Like, he's thinking way ahead of everybody else. The Luke thing was fan service 101. You do it and you do it the right way. So I expected that. If you're going to do Luke, that's the way I expect to see Luke. So it didn't really shock me as much. It shocked me from the standpoint of I didn't believe they would go there, and they did it. But Ahsoka was just so much better for me in terms of from start to finish, that episode had me. And I was blown away by it. So I have to go with the Jedi, man. I have to.
Yeah, I mean, whichever one wins tonight, I'm totally happy with.
I'm not gonna be mad.
The thing about that I'll say about the rescue is I echo what you say about, like, it really felt a little disjointed. The first half really felt like a Peyton Reed episode, which remember, he did The Passenger, which was ranked number 8 tonight. So it really, I don't know, it felt like that. And then obviously with the Luke stuff, I kind of feel on set it was all hands on deck. So like Filoni was there, Favreau was there. I'm sure that was like directed by committee, which is why it was so perfect and nailed. Then I have zero complaints. Even the CGI, like when I first saw it, I was like, okay, it's a little weird, and let's be honest, it's a little off. It's a little uncanny valley,
without question.
You know,
especially once he starts talking.
Yeah,
like once he starts talking, you start to really see it, and that's one of the things that I've gone back and looked at like several times, right? And it's like, as dope as it is, you can see where people would be kind of jarred by it,
right?
Because it's like, oh wait, that looks weird, but it's not enough to take you out of the moment. I will say that.
No,
it's not enough to take you out of the moment.
It wasn't Leia at the end of Rogue One to me.
Right.
Like that took me out a little. I really do like Rogue One a lot. I actually thought Tarkin worked, and I thought Leia didn't. I know that may be weird for me to say, but like the Tarkin stuff worked.
See, I feel the same way though. I don't have as much of a gripe with Tarkin as people did with Rogue One. I thought, like, for what they were doing with that tech at that period of time, like, that was dope to me. Like, I was blown away by the Tarkin CGI. I don't understand what people thought was so creepy about it, other than it being a character that's, passed on. Like, I was like, nah, this works for me.
So yeah, so the CGI is faced, on second and third watch. I think my brain is a little bit more used to it, so it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what I really like that we haven't talked about yet? R2, man, we got R2 back.
Oh man.
Who got shelved in other movies. R2 got a great moment here, and you know what made me laugh thinking about it later was that, so we see Luke and he's wrecking dudes, and then he's by himself, and then he walks into the room and he's still by himself. R2 is not really with him yet, so I only imagine like R2's like way behind, just like rolling around, looking at all these dead bodies or dead robots everywhere, and he's like, oh man, Luke's doing it again, and he's just like rolling by.
He's like, I told y'all, y'all should, I don't know why y'all try to come out here and fight this man. Y'all know he got the force.
Like I could just imagine R2's like, yep, yeah, look, Luke's doing it again.
Yeah, that's
such a great moment.
And the exchange with him and Grogu is, in my opinion, so underrated. Like I don't hear a lot of people talking about that.
Yeah.
But my thing is, they legit had a conversation right there, and it looked like every time I go back and watch that conversation, it literally looks like he's looking at him going, "Hey, little dude, you remember me?" And Grogu's like, "Yeah," and then R2's like, "Oh, that's what's up. Let's go. Like, let's get it."
Yeah.
So like that, like there's so much to that, and that's one of the things again that from a heartstring standpoint, you can't ignore that. Like it was incredible. But going back to the Ahsoka episode, you got that from the very opening scene all the way through that episode. Like everything in that episode was crazy. You even get the tease of Din kind of saying goodbye to Grogu. Like you get that starting in the Jedi, and they kind of set that up for you. And it's funny how it pays off at the end with the rescue, but it was just so much incredible stuff in that episode that I can't get mad at it, man. I can't get mad. I love, like, and it's hard because Luke's my dude, man. Like,
it's tough.
Luke is the reason I got into Star Wars. The Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. So it's hard for me to say it, but I gotta go with the Jedi, man.
Ooh. This is gonna be a tough one. Let's go to the poll. Let's do our final poll of the night. Let's see what you guys want to vote as the best episode from Mando season 2. Is it going to be Luke and the Rescue? If it is, exclamation vote 1 in the chat. Is it going to be Ahsoka and the Jedi? Exclamation
do the right
vote
thing.
2.
Vote with your minds and not your hearts, people.
I don't know. I'll be honest.
It's hard though, man. Like, cause I feel like I'm committing blasphemy even saying it.
I know, because I know how big you are on the Luke stuff, man. I know how big you are on that.
I gotta go with the Jedi, man. Like it just, you gotta like, anybody that thinks that this is a crazy argument, go back. I challenge you to go back and watch both of those episodes, and then you come find me and let's talk about it. Because man, like I can't be mad at people voting for. I can't get mad at people voting for the Rescue. The Rescue probably saved Star Wars fandom. Let's be real. It probably saved Star Wars fandom. That one 12 to 15 minute block of that episode probably saved us. But the Jedi, man, and think about this. You can't even get to the Rescue without the Jedi episode. Because the Jedi episode is where Ahsoka tells him that they need to go to Tython to find the Jedi.
Yeah.
So you can't even get to Luke without Ahsoka, man.
Man, this is it came. It was super close. With
it did.
the slimmest of margins, 53% of the vote. I mean that's pretty much as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Man, 53% of the vote. The Rescue is your winner, Al.
Hey.
I mean, like we said, it didn't matter who won that one.
Hey, it does not. I'm happy either way because one is Luke and one is Ahsoka. So how can you go wrong? How can you go wrong?
Man, that was what an incredible debate tonight. Thank you all for joining, man. So predictions on the Book of Boba. How do you feel that that's going to go? Are you excited for that one?
Yeah, man, I'm pumped for it. I'm really wondering where they're gonna go with that. Like it really looks like they're gonna kind of dive into the underworld, if you will, of Star Wars, which I'm so here for that. Like I want to see that whole element and so a show that focuses on that element. Like I want to see that so badly. So I'm really interested to see that, but I'm also wanting to see how that ties into the next phase of the Mandalorian
Yeah.
because I don't think that Boba is going to be able to get away with just saying I want to be a common man. Like there's going to be something I think that compels him to have to quote unquote choose a side. And I just see whether that's Din Djarin at some point, whether that's just like some war or something that goes on, he's gonna have to put that armor on for real and like get out there on some Mandalorian type ish, like before it's all said and done. So I can't wait to see how we get to that point because I definitely think that's where it'll go.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. All right, Al, I'm going to let you in on, and everyone else here, on what we're doing next week because, like I teased at the beginning, your partner for After Dark, Lavis, is going to be the guest next week.
Oh, snap, man.
It's going to be a fun one next week.
Make sure you got your purple drink glasses ready.
With the release of Wonder Woman 1984, we are headed back to DC. We're going to be doing DC movies next week. Al, now guys, I'll put it in the Discord again, exclamation Discord. Go ahead and join the Discord on Saturday. When's that movie come out? Saturday, right? I think. No, Friday. Comes out Friday.
Is it Friday? Friday.
Christmas Day. So on Christmas Day, I'm going to put the vote up of these movies right here, and where you guys are going to help narrow down to 8 out of this list. You don't have to pick 8, but like what's like 1 or 2 of these that like you're super like high on as far as DC movies go?
Oh man, you got to go with Batman Returns. Like Batman Returns has got to be on that list. Batman Returns for me is probably one of my favorite superhero films of all time.
Wow. Okay.
Like that and it's campy and look, Danny DeVito killed that movie. Like he wrecked Penguin. Oswald Cobblepot made that movie. Yeah. So I gotta go. I automatically think of Batman Returns. People might trip out to hear this, but Man of Steel's got to be on there for me. I'm a huge fan of Man of Steel, and I even liked Batman versus Superman. I enjoy the director's cut a lot better, but I'm not as down on that movie as a lot of people were. Just looking at it again, the Dark Knights, you've got to have every single one of those. Like you've got to have the Dark Knight Returns, Batman Begins. All 3 of those have got to be there. They've got to.
Yeah,
and my last kind of out of left field for me.
Okay.
Wonder Woman.
I don't think that's out of left field.
Yeah. Wonder Woman's got to be there.
It'll be interesting to see for sure if Wonder Woman 1984 makes it after everyone sees it.
That'll be very interesting. I'm definitely geeked to see that, man. That's gonna be dope to check out with the fam on Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. Al, thank you so much for being here, for talking Mando, talking Star Wars. It's a blast. It was a blast. Please tell everyone all about After Dark and what you're doing over at the Den. Let them know about an afternoon on Saturday. Let the people know.
Yeah, man. So me and the homie Lavis, man, Denim Nerds live After Dark every night, Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We take a ride with you. We might be in space. We might be on somebody's couch. Hell, we might even be at your house. Where the party at, that's where we gonna be at. So check us out every week Thursday nights, and then on Saturdays you can check us out on the afternoon stream. We just get on there and chop it up about whatever's going on, man. So come check your boy out, come hit us up, man.
Do it
and come hang, come do the thing with us.
Definitely go. I know most of you probably already are, but if not, Den of Nerds. Al, it's been an honor and it's been a pleasure. Thanks for chatting Star Wars today.
The pleasure's all mine, man. I dig the show, man. I love this stuff, and the fact that you even allowed me to come on here, man, I'm just like, appreciate that.
All thanks to you for sure. All right, buddy. Thanks.
Cool.
All right, guys, that was Al. Al's the man. He's awesome. The Star Wars knowledge he dropped tonight was amazing. Thank you all for hanging out tonight. It's the holidays. tomorrow. Christmas Eve tomorrow, Christmas the next day. Enjoy your holidays. Have fun. Be safe. Come back next week. We're going to talk DC movies with Lavis. Go to the Discord and check Friday. I'm going to put up the vote. You can poll. We're going to have a poll. You can vote. It's going to be an amazing time. So thank you all for hanging out tonight, voting and talking Star Wars and Mando. If you like this, give a thumbs up on that video. Leave a comment. Let me know which movies you think or which episode you think should have made it if yours didn't make it. And that'll be it. So thank you all for hanging out. Have a great holiday. I will see you guys next